The word solo is derived from the word single. Other words that describe this word include alone, unaccompanied, by yourself. A quick review of history has shown that significant landmark events or changes are often not carried out by one individual working alone. Please note that I'm not referring to scientific discoveries or inventions. I'm actually referring mainly to socioeconomic changes in society, mindset shifts, cultural evolutions. Very often it's a group of like-minded individuals that are passionate about a cause that come together and create a momentum that leads to a movement. This is such an important point to note and to understand. If this simple fact is true and is easy to understand, why do so many of us believe that we can make change happen alone? Why is there such a pervasive tendency to act alone? Why is collaboration so challenging? In this video, we're going to focus on the following. 1. The danger of working solo. 2. The need to connect before collaborating. Then, business school collaboration versus true collaboration. Fourthly, the forces that contend against collaboration and how to contend with those forces. And then strategies that sustain collaboration. And finally, the big why. Why are we doing this? To raise an organized army, a new community of reformers. That's why we're doing this. So let's start with the first, the danger of working solo. In life, we usually only see in part. We often do not see the whole picture. For example, you can't see the back of your head, but someone standing behind you obviously can. Likewise, it's almost impossible to see the whole picture by yourself. Remember I mentioned earlier how each of us carries a piece of a big puzzle? If you carry only a piece, you cannot possibly complete the puzzle by yourself. It's obvious. You have to find the other pieces of the puzzle and connect with them. It is therefore often dangerous to try and work solo when you clearly cannot see the complete picture. So the need to connect before collaborating becomes very important. So how does it start? It starts with connecting, and connecting takes a skill. First, there has to be recognition. You need to have the ability to recognize that the person you're connecting with is a missing piece of the puzzle. You have your identity and the other person also has theirs. Each identity is unique, and it is this uniqueness that allows recognition. Secondly, you have to be willing to connect. And to do this, humility and selflessness is required. There's no place for pride and there's no place for an overblown estimation of self. You have to understand the importance of connecting. If you don't connect, the puzzle remains incomplete. A completed puzzle is an achievement and an accomplishment. Scattered pieces of a puzzle makes no sense. Just think about it all over the place. You can't see the picture, you don't understand the message that it conveys. In like manner, reformers that work solo dilute their message. They appear powerless. And you know what? They are easily defeated. Just like an army. You fight solo, you are easily defeated. You fight with a larger number of people, you are stronger. So connection is a prerequisite for collaboration. Once connection happens, the other ingredients for true collaboration can now be added. Note the word true. I have given this example earlier on, but I will repeat it. I was fortunate enough to attend business school after working for over 15 years. I felt so much a change in the world since I did my first master's program 20 years earlier. And so I went back to the London Business School, and there I learned the importance of collaboration. How businesses succeeded because they built cultures where collaboration is encouraged and celebrated. Armed with this knowledge, I entered into my first partnership in 2004. I invested in a growing firm by buying equity. I became a partner. Although I didn't know my new partners very well, as we worked together, we got to know each other as friends. And today, we are still good friends, even though our business endeavor didn't work. We started off with passion and a lot of zeal, but it didn't take very long before our diverse expectations and our ways of working began to show the cracks in our collaborative entity. I very quickly learned that there's a difference between the collaboration taught in business school and true collaboration. 2 years after we signed our partnership agreement, we all agreed to part ways and pursue the dreams we carried in each of our hearts. And today, my two partners are doing amazing work. But through this experience, I learned some valuable lessons about what I now call true collaboration. I have also gleaned additional lessons and insight from being a core member of an education reform team. Business school collaboration will not take reformers very far. It is not sufficiently sacrificial, neither is it willing to die for a cause. So, what differentiates true collaboration from what I learned at business school? I believe there are 5 simple but important differences, what I call the fundamental ingredients of true collaboration. In the 3rd video of the mini course, I highlighted 3 of the 5 fundamental ingredients of true collaboration, and those 3 were love and death. The second, vision and heart collaboration. And the 3rd was humility and unity. The last 2, which I didn't mention in the mini course, was giving and sharing, and sincerity and openness. I will now deal with all 5, including the 3 I mentioned in the mini course. Here, I will go into a little more detail than I did in the mini course. So the first twin emotions, love and death. Love and death is foundational as it lays the foundation for the other ingredients. They're like 2 sides of the same coin. You have to be able to love those you are in collaboration with unconditionally. It means no matter what they do to you, you still love and care for them. And you still want to work with them. This is hard. It's really hard. The other side of the coin is death. You have to learn to die to self. Through dying to self, you learn to esteem your collaborating partners above yourself. If you're not able to pass this initial test, it's not likely that your collaboration will go beyond being a business relationship. Like I mentioned earlier, it is not business relationships, collaborations that change nations. To fight for a cause, to change systems that have remained in place for years, you have to be part of a movement that shifts culture. You have to be prepared to be a reformer that loves deeply and is indeed dead. The second fundamental ingredient is vision and heart collaboration. It goes beyond sharing a vision that was crafted during a brainstorming weekend retreat. The reformers' hearts have to be knitted together, bound by a strong and pulsating vision, a vision that refuses to let go until it is fulfilled, a vision that demands your all and the all of every true collaborating partner. Anyone that is hesitant and is counting the cost cannot operate in true collaboration. In the business world, financial collaboration often comes first before heart collaboration. In the reformers' world, heart collaboration precedes financial collaboration. Remember the failed attempt with my partners? I actually invested money before I got to know them. That strengthens the point that I'm trying to make, that for heart collaboration, it is first of all the heart that is knitted together before the financial investment. The 3rd ingredient does not come easily. It is about giving and sharing. It's about giving, 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 and giving. You give of your resources, you give of your time, and you even give your future. You have an acute perception of needs and you offer to meet those needs. You never stop giving. You don't always give because you have. You learn to give from your nothingness, from your emptiness. You give to make the dream happen. You invest in your dream. You have to invest in your dream. You give till you see the vision materialize. So I ask you, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice to make the dream happen? I remember many years ago, a friend of mine who is easily one of the most generous people that I know. She gave me a really expensive study Bible that she had just purchased. I walked into the same store that she was walking out of, and I made the mistake of admiring the study Bible. And immediately she handed it to me and said that I could have it. Here, take, she said. This woman could give anything. There was nothing she owned that she could not give away. I remember her husband used to jokingly say, if she could, she will give me away. So as team members giving sacrificially to one another, it provokes a response, an emotional connection, almost like the invisible rope that binds the heart together. That's what giving does. It unites you and gives you emotional connectivity. The fourth ingredient is sincerity and openness. The tendency of human nature is to hide things. History is full of stories of leaders who were betrayed, from the legendary Julius Caesar, whose reign was ended by a coup on the Ides of March, to Steve Jobs, the famous co-founder CEO of Apple, who was removed as CEO by his board, and he was forced out of Apple, the very company that he founded in 1985. Once the door to doubt and insincerity is opened up, negative emotions such as backbiting, competitiveness, they begin to eat away at the fabric of unity that binds the people together. Truth and authenticity are key. Untruths, often told to protect reputation and to avoid punishment, must be frowned upon. Conversely, openness and sincerity have to be held in highest regard, and we need to reward openness and sincerity. The fifth ingredient, the final one, is humility and unity. That word humility conjures different images in different people. It connotes images of being trampled upon by others if one is humble, of being overlooked in the workplace, and even missing out on promotions and other benefits that people think they have to fight for to get. In the culture of the 21st century, a certain level of aggressiveness, standing up for oneself, being noticed, and fighting for one's perceived rights are all acceptable behavior. Blowing your own trumpet is often seen as quite vital to advancing in your career. So humility, that can be described as the opposite of aggressiveness, the opposite of arrogance, boastfulness, and vanity, is more like, rather than me first, humility allows you to say, no, you first. Humility is a quality that lets us go more than halfway to meet the needs and demands of others. In his book, Good to Great, which we've talked about, by Jim Collins, he discovered through a 5-year study of outstanding companies who transitioned from being average to great companies by outperforming the stock market. There was an unusual quality that the CEOs of these great companies exhibited, and that quality was the quality of level 5 leadership. They each exhibited the quality of humility. This finding was most unexpected. It went against the grain of what was being taught in business schools as acceptable behavior. Humility, not aggressiveness. Humility was not one of those enviable character traits. It was at the back of this that authenticity and being authentic has been seen as a highly attractive quality in a leader. Humility strengthens unity in a partnership or a team. Unity of purpose, unity of vision maintains true collaboration. I'll repeat that. Unity of purpose and unity of vision maintains true collaboration. Unity is not unison. Unity allows divergent arguments without eating at the core of the unity that binds the team together. Unity is powerful, and yet it is never easy. It is always a huge challenge. It is unity with a deep measure of humility that leads to victory.